Professor Probert, what are the chances of getting ulcerative colitis under continuous control?
This is a really important question. Our goal in treating patients with ulcerative colitis is to maximise their quality of life and aim to bring about remission. We can't always get there, and we have to accept response. With the range of drugs we have now, the chance of getting a patient into remission are much better than they've ever been. And if we use our drugs wisely, I think we can aim to expect 2/3 of our patients to be maintained in remission for long periods, and the other third to have a fluctuating course we aim to control.
What are the specific obstacles to monitor and handle this disease?
When we're trying to monitor inflammatory bowel disease, ulcerative colitis in particular, we have a variety of tools, blood tests, stool tests, and scopes, and colonoscopy, for example. It's very difficult for patients to go through invasive testing on a regular basis, and so we rely on stool testing or blood testing as a proxy to give us an assessment of disease information.
You just presented a study on the efficacy and safety of Golimumab for the induction and maintenance in moderate to severe colitis ulcerosa. What was the study's design and its main findings?
In this study we used Golimumab, which is an anti-TNF agent, to treat patients with moderate to severe ulcerative colitis. We recruited patients in the UK because they hadn't been part of the registration studies, the pursuit studies. So this study was open label. It was a phase 4 study because the drug was licensed, but we had no experience in the UK. The patients going into the study had moderate to active established disease that weren't responding to therapy, who really wanted another agent. So they had induction therapy for 6 weeks, a 200 milligram dose followed by a 100 milligram dose 2 weeks later. And at week 6 they were assessed. People who were responders had further injections every 4 weeks out to a year. At the end of a year the drug was stopped in some patients and carried on in others at their choice. And those who carried on were compared with those who didn't.
What are the risks of discontinuing medication during treatment?
This is a really challenging question. The reasons for stopping drug are manifold. Patients have anxieties about taking what they conceive to be potent medication. We have anxieties about the risks of some cancers with some drugs, such as the skin cancer with the azathioprine. But we know stopping the drug for some patients exposes them to a risk of relapse. And we have to balance up the potential benefits of sustaining the therapy with the disbenefits of increasing the risk of side effects.
And what, in your opinion, will be the long-term effect of using biologicals in patients with ulcerative colitis?
We've heard today that the risk of malignancy is associated with ongoing inflammation. We've heard this before, but it's very real. We have good data to support this. And our goal now is to suppress that inflammation completely, to bring about the maximum quality of life, but also to reduce the risk of cancers. And so our goal is always to completely suppress inflammation, so we reduce the risk of complications for patients.
Some studies have recently trialed biologicals for oral intake. Can this development ameliorate the disease burden for patients?
There are many ways of trying to reduce the burden for patients, and if the drug is oral and it's effective, that's got to be advantageous to patients, because many of the drugs they have that are parenteral are given as drip, an infusion in a centre, or as an injection at home, which patients dislike because it's uncomfortable. So patients often prefer a tablet. If the tablet is as good as the injection, that's a great thing.
What else do you expect to happen in terms of research within the next 5 years?
We are in a very busy place with inflammatory bowel disease. 5 years ago we had steroids, we had immunosuppressives, and the first anti-TNF. We now have anti-integrins, we have a new drug of anti-IL-23, we've got oral medication which inhibits new pathways, and yet many more pathways being discovered and treated. So our challenge is going to choose the right drug at the right time, because there'll be so many drugs to choose from.
Professor Probert, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.